In our previous study, we identified the souls under the altar in the fifth seal as the faithful, those who through the Spirit of grace willingly laid down their lives for the gospel of the kingdom. Without a doubt, this includes the 12 apostles and many others who were part of the early New Testament church. The souls under the altar in the fifth seal comprise the 144,000 in Revelation 7, synonymous with those in Revelation 20, who rule and reign with Christ. Our first view of the faithful is in the fifth seal, while our next view is just before the opening of the seventh seal, where they are identified as the 144,000. As we learned, this number is symbolic, where 12 times 12 times 1,000 is indicative of a double witness of divine government in the day of the Lord. Now, let's go to the opening of the seventh seal. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. In part 11 of this series, we learned that half an hour denotes a dividing of time, representing a separation of day from night or light from darkness, accomplished by the righteous judgment proceeding from the throne of God through Christ and his faithful. This division is also represented by the number 2 and 40 and 2 months. The silence in heaven denotes rest, aligning with the souls in the fifth seal. Then a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren, who would be killed as they were, was completed. As we learned in our last study, the judgment of God is held back until the number in the fifth seal is complete. This completion is emphasized in Revelation, chapter 20, where the word fulfilled in 23, the phrase were finished in 25, and the phrase are expired in 27, are all the same word meaning, to end or complete. Further confirmation is seen, where the thrones in Revelation 24 correlate with divine government, and the 1,000 years in Revelation 20, verses 2 through 7, correlate with the great day of his wrath. When the number of the 144,000 is complete, judgment begins, as typified by the half an hour or dividing of time, confirmed by 1 Peter 4:17. To emphasize, the dividing of time denotes the judgment of God. For that is what judgment does. It separates the sincere from the insincere, the true from the false, and the truth from tradition. Now let's consider the passages in Revelation, chapter 8, that follow the half an hour. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Then another angel, having a golden censer, came and stood at the altar. He was given much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, with the prayers of the saints, ascended before God from the angel's hand. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, threw it to the earth. And there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. So the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. As we see, the half an hour or judgment of God is connected to the angel with the golden censer and the 7 angels with their trumpets. This angel is given much incense, offering it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar before the throne. Once these prayers ascend before God, the angel takes the censer, fills it with fire from the altar, and throws it to the earth. What follows are noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. Where does the fire for the altar of incense come from? The brazen altar or altar of sacrifice, the altar in the 5th seal. Regarding both altars, Vincent's word studies in the New Testament tells us the officiating priest in the tabernacle or temple took the fire for his censer from the brazen altar and then offered the incense upon the golden altar. For this reason, The prayers of all saints correlate with the cry for judgment and vengeance in the fifth seal. The earthquake brings us to the following. See that you do not refuse him who is speaking. For if they did not escape when they refused him, who warned them on earth, much less will we escape if we reject him who warns from heaven. At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. This phrase, yet once more, indicates the removal of things that are shaken, that is, things that have been made, in order that the things that cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, let us be grateful for receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and thus let us offer to God acceptable worship, with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. The earthquake of Revelation 8 signifies the shaking of both earth and the heavens, the seen and the unseen, by the voice of the Lord. The voice of the Lord is the voice of the souls under the altar, a unified voice and cry for judgment and vindication. And the fire from the altar? In agreement with the half an hour or separation of light and darkness, it aligns with judgment. To be more specific, it's the judgment of the lake of fire or second death. Since both water and fire are essential to life, and the souls under the altar exemplify this life, we have a lake of fire in the fifth seal. The fire from the altar corresponds to the cry for judgment by these souls, for God's judgment always proceeds out of light and life. Where does the cry for judgment and vengeance originate? With the brazen altar or altar of sacrifice. This emphasizes the fact that the apostles of Christ were chosen to establish the foundation of the kingdom of God, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. The fact that the souls under the altar cry for judgment and vengeance lends strength to the idea that we should always embrace his judgment, for when his judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Friend, his people are no exception to this rule. In fact, his people are judged first. For more about the lake of fire, I would encourage you to view my video, Hiding in Plain Sight, the Lake of Fire, on this YouTube channel.